listen to a young girl who was saying that the Nigerian community here is totally very angry. Thank you very much for your from our
was the Ijaw country of the Niger Delta of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He went to several schools. His major academic emphasis was at the Government College, New Delhi.
Go gather, destroy their food. Make security camp and that other camp, Tongo camp. You don't compensate everybody.
Sometimes. Today our focus will be on the style of J.C. Clark, a poet and writer, and we shall also be very interested in his point as a dancer.
Some lines are meaningful, some are empty. With too much meaning and riches to offer humankind. Long after some of these earthly adventures and no more, one can still find footprints of these great lives on the pavements of our contemporary life.
Good evening, you're welcome to the program Green Planet.
Hello once more and welcome to my art corner. I will be painting an abstract of an African festival. African festivals are usually occasions that communities come out and you see a couple of people, you see jujus and all that, you see mass, and it's a process of cultural attainment, you know. So I will be starting this painting with the notion that we'll have to see a lot of symbols in it. And I would like that it has some level of 3D in the eyes. There are sorts of ways that we'll have to introduce people or to populate the drawing or the painting, pick a pattern. Now, and painting is coming up. And of course, you have some movements that usually go dancing. There are usually women in the backdrop and who head dance groups and secret societies. For instance, like the Takamba of the northwest of Cameroon, and there are those that actually are celebrated for their achievements in childbirth as being the mothers of rulers called the Mafos, and they span the breadth of Africa with different responsibilities. And the jujus also differ. There are jujus for princes, and there are jujus for everyday citizens. Sometimes even the drums have to differ. You use different drums to summon people to the square, different drums for dancing, and so on. So you can see the painting is evolving, its Africanity is being heightened, the symbols we've got some talking sticks in Africa as well. And we got some gongs. One sort of way to make linkages between the figures is with lines at different angles. They would become faces in the backdrop sometimes, and we'll add a mystical connotation to the painting. And Africans think in curvilinear patterns, so circles mean a lot when depicting Africa. The curvilinear pattern of African thought systems has influenced a lot of things, including the kind of molds that Africans make when planting their food, right up to the kind of ridges and graves and so many other things, and even the old sound that they use in beckoning other people to come to certain ceremonies or to heighten drama during funerals. In a way, African thought is naturally holistic. That is why it is sometimes difficult to understand Africa just by what you read from the books. I guess we have enough action in the painting that can catch your eyes. can see what we are going to be transforming into a colorful African painting. I have here with me different colors: yellow, red, green, there's brown, and so on. I will be using these paintings, these colors carefully in order to heighten drama within the painting and to arouse the true images in the cultural fabric of Africa. So let's start with red. And we have to blend the colors, and so yellow is very pregnant in Africa. Our sun is yellow. It permeates our surfaces. It permeates our thoughts. It rocks with the energy that only life itself represents. So you can see the painting is evolving. It's really evolving with the drama that you find in Africa, and I will be continuing this painting with a bit of brown, and you know, many African soils are very rich, contrary to what many people say. This is not to dispute the fact that the necessary processes to upgrade certain degraded soils in Africa has to be a major consideration of development management, especially as subpopulations in Africa are on the rise, and the world is expected to reach a milestone of 9 billion by 2050. Africa will not be left behind in terms of that mammoth increase, you know. So upgrading in all spheres is a major consideration that we must try to do in Africa. From communication to a lot of things. Now, in terms of this painting, you can see, of course, that masquerades in Africa can hardly go without leaves. And in Africa, we have different forms of leaves. Some take some shapes that you can see like this. So without our lines linking the figures, it wouldn't have been possible to bring out such figures in the first place. Forested communities in Africa are also gifted in masquerade dances. The Igbos, the Ijagams, the Bayang, and the Mountain Bakweri, and a host of other tribes. So, painting Africa in terms of masquerades, it's an enjoyable practice, you know. It's coming up. We'll be continuing. So, our work is coming up strongly, and you can see that it's going to be very colorful. Yeah. So I should ensure that vitality runs right through, and therefore one of the major aspects of vitality that we can get is our red color that nature so gladly has made to be, ironically, the color of our blood. This goes beyond the limitations of culture and the abstractions of differences between peoples. It is the underlying aspect that runs through our veins and that gives us some of the humanism. And in the masquerade, you must make sure that the mask come out boldly. So let's start with this guy here. Some of the masks are meant to scare. But generally they are multicolored, and it's usually beautiful when they are, actually. Yeah, that one is going to scare the living daylight out of the kid who's trying to be stubborn, you know. When they tell you that juju doesn't like stubborn kids, you tend to follow the rules. And sometimes it's used for more serious disciplinary issues, you know. For those who have deviant behavior, corruption, adultery, all are sanctioned by sacred houses, and sometimes their symbolism is intended to scare as much as they are also made to attract. Especially those that are meant for pleasures, like in the masquerade. The work is coming out slowly but surely. And our work is evolving. You can see it's becoming absolutely filled with the images and the symbols of what is being done during a masquerade in Africa, during a festival, during dance and drama. As Martin Esslin states, drama is actually accompanied usually with rites and rituals, and so too it goes in Africa. And sometimes there are some strange similarities between what is done maybe in some churches and what tradition can prescribe. It's alleged that man decided to create God out of his own image in order to outlive the limitations of life. A strange suggestion from artistic minds like Bernard Shaw, but that are very relevant to the contemplations of today, were still relevant to the contemplations of yesterday, and cannot be dismissed from epoch to epoch. And when you paint things that are supposedly going to convey a message to your ancestors, they have to be strong in character and bold, because the ancestors are wise. They got to a ripe old age, as Pastor Mbiti will suggest, before they died, and their lives were full of events that were helpful to their communities. Therefore, we must communicate to them strongly. Painting is coming up stronger and stronger. And we have to differentiate the skin of the drum from the drum itself, wood from leather. So you can see imageries of Africa, they get fuller by the minute, and you can leave them on the canvas without necessarily coming to Africa. So we have to ensure that there's color harmony, within the painting, and have to allow this technique for some paint to run down. It helps us in heightening our drama as well. And so we're about there. I'm just trying to spread the colors so that they can get into those little tiny crevices that cannot be seen by the naked eye. So you can see the colors of a festival in Africa, and you can see the drums, you can feel the sound, you can see the women, you can see the mysticism all in one board. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the painting. That's been Arrey Ivo.
Thank you very much. And this is what a young girl was saying. The community here is totally very angry. Thank you very much for your dedication.
This was the Joe country of the Niger Delta of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He went to several schools. His major academic agencies was at the government college in Delhi. And
Go gather, destroy their food. With the camp. And that other camp, some more camp, no compensate everybody.
in its generation sometimes. Today I'll focus on the style of J.C. Clark, a poet and writer, and we shall also be very interested in his point at more dancer.
Some lives are meaningful. Some are empty. Lives that are meaningful, with too much meaning and riches to offer humankind. Long after some of these earthly adventures and no more, one can still find footprints of these great lives on the pavements of our contemporary life.
Good evening, you're welcome to the program Green Planet.